Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thunder Today YouTube channel. I am your host, Dylan Hibbard, and the NBA draft was last night. We saw a bunch of different moves kind of go around. We saw some teams make some moves, kind of trading around quite a bit, and then we saw some teams make some interesting picks that we'll get into. First, we'll kind of go over the top 10 of the draft. Cooper Flag goes 1 to Dallas. We kind of knew that was going to happen, as well as 2, Dylan Harper going to the Spurs. Number 3, VJ Edgecombe went to the Sixers. Kind of expected him going there after all the Ace Bailey stuff. At 4, the Hornets took Colin Knippel, just going to be a guy that fits right in with Brandon Miller and LaMelo on that Hornets offense. At 5, the kind of funny move of the night is the Utah Jazz selecting Ace Bailey, even though Bailey was quoted on many occasions saying that he didn't want to go to Utah and he wasn't working out for Utah. So it's kind of interesting to see, is he going to get traded, or is it just going to be like kind of get over yourself? We'll see how that progresses. And then the 6th overall pick to Washington was Trey Johnson. I like this pick a lot. I think Washington nailed this pick. I think he's going to be able to kind of be his own player on Washington now that especially they traded Jordan Poole away. He can kind of take over that ball handler role and kind of score however he wants. And then the 7th overall pick, the New Orleans Pelicans selected Jeremiah Spears out of Oklahoma. We kind of knew that one was going to happen. At pick number 8, the Brooklyn Nets took Ignore Demon out of BYU. Pick number 9, the Toronto Raptors took Colin Murray-Boyles, who we thought the Thunder might trade up and get. Ended up not doing a trade at all to move up, so we'll kind of talk about that here in a minute. But Colin Murray-Boyles fitting right into that that Toronto Raptor offense. And then the 10th overall pick that was involved in the Kevin Durant trade from Phoenix and Houston. So Houston gave Phoenix that pick, and Phoenix selected Kaman Malak. And I think this is a great pick by Phoenix. He's going to be fitting right into Phoenix's new look offense, where he can be that pick and roll artist next to Devin Booker, Jalen Green, provide that defense and rim protection down low for being such a big body. So I really like what the Phoenix Suns did right there. And then we'll kind of transition into our next point of the Thunder and who they selected at number 15. The Thunder ended up selecting Thomas Sorber out of Georgetown. He is a 6'10", 255-pound monster, and when you watch the highlights, you notice right away how good his defense is. He averaged 14.5, 8.5 rebounds, and 2 blocks, and he is a very good defender, very good rim protector, and it makes sense why OKC is so big on him and why they wanted to select him. He just kind of fits that mold of being a defensive guy, but he has such big versatility for his size. He can move so well that, I mean, even as a freshman at Georgetown, he averaged 14.5, and that's amazing for a freshman, especially as a big man. That shows your different versatility. So I think this is a great pick. I think this is a pick where the Thunder are hoping he slides in right where Hartenstein is. Hartenstein only has 2 more years left, and probably really only 1 year left, because you're going to have to pay J-Dub and Chet this next year. So I see Hartenstein having 1 more year, and then we trading him away for whatever it might be for that last year. So with the new CBA and apron ruling, the Thunder are going to have to kind of retool and build around your big 3. And unfortunately for that does include pieces like Hartenstein signing for a few years and then having to get out because of contract situations. But I think that's what the Thunder intend for this guy to be, is kind of be that backup big for this year, kind of learn around Hartenstein and Chet and just kind of get closer to these players, and then next year kind of be that mold, possibly start if he plays well enough, or he's just kind of that backup big for Chet and the Thunder go back to Chet at the 5. We'll have to see what their thoughts are on that and kind of what Mark Dagnall wants to do at that point. And then the 24th overall pick, the Thunder decided to trade that away to the Sacramento Kings. They just really didn't have the room or a need for another pick at 24, so they I'm assuming they ended up trading it for some draft capital down the line. It hasn't come out yet at the time of this recording, but I'm assuming it's probably for some second-round picks down the line, just kind of reshaping the asset pool for the Thunder. So nothing big on that front. And then finally, we have some trade rumors talking some possible offseason moves now that we're in the offseason. And the one big name I think the Thunder are going to kind of be linked to this entire offseason, and we'll probably talk about quite a bit, is Cam Johnson from the Nets. And I've read a couple of different articles talking about what the Thunder might want to do with that, possibly trade for him. And I've seen kind of two big trades pop up, and let me know what you guys think on which trade you would rather do. The first one is possibly trading Lou Dort. He has a very tradable contract. I know he's a fan favorite and has been around since the beginning with Shea, so it might be hard for the Thunder to trade him, but it's a possibility of him, Ousmane Dieng, and a first-round pick for a Cam Johnson. And then another one I've seen is Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, and 2 first-round picks. And for me, I think I would rather go with the Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins thing. And for me, it's just a matter of fact of Joe wasn't even a difference really in this finals run. I mean, he had some big shots and like decent moments, but he really wasn't that big of a playmaker. And if you're paying him $10 million, I think if you're able to trade him and Wiggins and get a Cam Johnson who is going to be a great scorer off the bench, who's going to fit right in that Wiggins role next to Caruso and Wallace off the bench, where he can be that engine off the bench that will now be tied with a Thomas Sorber, and it kind of makes that second unit even more deadly when you can also have a scorer off the bench when Shea, and if you want to run Shea and J-Dub off on the bench at the same time. So I mean, those are the two big ones that are kind of popping up right now for us, is the Lou Dort, Ousmane Dieng, and first-round pick for Cam Johnson, or whether it be a mix of Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, maybe Kenrich Williams. I don't see Jay Will being involved in a trade. I think he's kind of the locker room presence guy, so I think they're going to kind of let him relax and stay. But I think definitely a mix of the three of Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kenrich Williams, Ousmane Dieng, I think is definitely a very likely candidate to get traded this offseason, whether it's traded for a player like Cam Johnson or just kind of move on from him, let him go somewhere else and actually be able to play. And that takes, he was like making $6 or $7 million, so that takes off even more money to pay guys like Chet and J-Dub. So let me know what you guys think down below. We'll kind of get tomorrow's video, we'll get more in depth on the Thunder's draft picks, some possible trade rumors going on for the Thunder, and kind of look ahead to what their blueprint might look like for the offseason. But let me know what you guys think down below about the Thunder's draft pick and what you think Thomas Sorber could contribute to this championship-ready team. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.